Der britische Rockmusiker John Watts von Fischer-Z ist heute bei Fischer-Z.
Ja, Fischer-Z.
Ist heute bei Radio Saarbrücken zu Besuch. Heute Abend hat er in der Garage um 8 Uhr, um 20 Uhr einen Auftritt und wir haben es noch gerade so geschafft, ihn zu einem Interview zu uns zu bekommen. Hey John, I'm very happy to have you here and let's just start with the first question.
Excellent, it's nice to be here.
Tonight you'll be performing in Saarbrücken at the Garage. In 2017 you released your 20th album called Building Bridges, which is an interesting title, especially regarding the worldwide refugee crisis.
Yes.
What would you say was the inspiration for this album?
Well, I've always written music that reflects what's going on. And so the idea that the problem was so complex, I thought was wrong. I think it's very, very simple. That in the end, you have to have communication and you have to bring people together.
In the Damascus Disco, the first song on Building Bridges, you sing about worldwide issues, such as corruption, wars, human trafficking, and what do you think? How would you approach those issues yourself?
Well, I think that the same issues have existed for the last 40 years. Obviously, there's more movement of people, and because of the internet, everybody can see what everybody else's life is. But I just think that what's required is a new approach. I can't tell you exactly what that approach is, but politics as it was 5 years ago is finished.
So what do you think will come in the future then?
I think what will happen is that people are more interested in issues than in political parties, and therefore they want to deal with things issue by issue. And also everybody's opportunities will be changed by things like movement of people, not only from outside the EU and outside the EC, but also within the EC. I think what's happening is young people's opportunities are being restricted by politicians, and hopefully their voice will change the system.
Okay. Your lyrics are always very deep and philosophical, and sometimes funny, or very often funny. But how do you write those songs? Do you have any ritual, something special you do?
Well, I just write. I do quite a lot of writing. So sometimes things will become a song, or something will become a poem, or something will be something from a book. But essentially, you just live. I just reflect back things that I see.
You've been in the music business for over 40 years now.
Yes.
There has been some major changes regarding genres and style, not only in pop music, but also in rock music.
Sure.
What do you think about those changes?
Well, the thing that's most interesting is in the 60s, before I was involved in it, pop culture led youth culture, and it led fashion. And now it's very much less influential, in as much as it's all, again, because of the power of the internet, it's about the individual believing that because they've got a smartphone, they can actually change the world themselves. So what's changed is that pop music is more of a commodity, and there's only a small number of very big acts. There's a lot of talent, huge talent, especially amongst young musicians, but it's very difficult for them to be heard, and very difficult for them to make any money.
And what do you think about the music that is playing in the radio, like popular songs, contemporary artists, like those R&B or dance music? What do you think about that?
Well, the thing is, it's popular radio, pop TV, TV shows used to be things that all young people used to watch and all young people used to listen to. And now it's much more marginalized. It's very difficult to follow, for instance, the singles chart, international singles chart, because there, as I said to you before, there's a small number of artists that are promoted huge, will get everywhere. But it's for instance, if you look at the English top 20 singles chart, then you've got a certain number of, you've got, say, I don't know, you've got 3 or 4 grime tunes, you've got 3 or 4 different, they're clubbing tunes, they're different. Yeah. So it's not that they're not changing the whole youth culture.
Okay. Being in the music industry for so long, what strange things or curious things have you experienced? What is the strangest thing ever happened to you?
Yeah, well, it depends what kind of rating you want to put on it. It's like a cinema thing. One thing for me is that many of my friends that started in the music business are dead because they did a huge number of drugs, they did a huge amount of alcohol. I didn't do as much of that, so consequently, consequently, I'm still here. At the moment, I mean, for instance, at the moment, I finished a book which was stories from the first 3 years, just from 79 to 81. My stories are not particularly rock and roll stories because I'm more of a writer than a musician, but I mean, there's 80 stories from there, but the most ridiculous stories to do with, things you've been shot at, all sorts of stuff. I mean,
you've been shot at?
Yeah, we were playing in Greece, for instance, in 1980, and they made it was an outdoor show. Wasn't that big? About 5,000 people in an amphitheatre made out of corrugated iron. We played in it, and so you have a big wooden stage and big wooden PA system. And about halfway through the show, the bass player nearly fainted. I don't know what he was doing. What had happened was somebody had fired a crossbow from somewhere over there, and it had gone in front of him and through the PA system and into the wall, into the wood. It went behind me, about sort of 6 feet behind me, so I didn't see it. But things like that. I've had somebody tried to kill me with a table in Newcastle in 1970.
What?
Yeah, well, the audience were in front fighting, and I was being very rude to the audience, and I didn't see there was a balcony above. And the table, there's a little table sitting in front of here, a table 4 times this size, made of steel. They threw it and dropped it. They just missed me. It went through the stage.
No.
Yeah, and when you did punk gigs, people used to burn your ankles with cigarettes.
Okay, that's punk.
Yeah,
I mean, it's punk.
No, but artists now, it's pretty mild. And if you played in places like Australia, you played in a cage, didn't you, Pete? Because at that stage, because they throw so many bottles and things at you, you had a whole mesh fence in front to protect you.
Wow.
It was different.
Okay, that's quite curious then, yeah.
They don't do that now.
Okay, you referenced Nietzsche in Damascus Disco with the line, when you fight monsters, you become monsters too.
Yeah, that's the famous Nietzsche quote. Yeah,
which relates to the famous quote, he who fights with monsters should look to it that he himself does not become a monster.
That's right.
Would you say you're always able to follow this strategy, trying to not become a monster in a world full of monsters?
It's difficult because if people don't play by the rules, everything from military dictatorships to the way Spanish defenders destroy Liverpool attackers, they don't play by the rules. I mean, from football to Putin. When people operate outside the rules, it's difficult. I mean, politicians now, they don't know what to do. I mean, for instance, 30 years ago, people had nuclear weapons, but the people in charge of them had control of them. Now there's the same number of nuclear weapons, but they're controlled by complete dingoes. And when you've got somebody like Trump, Trump in himself's not dangerous because Trump is a fool.
But the people behind him.
Yes, but what's happening? Trump is a distraction, so that he says ridiculous things. What's going on in America? The American society is being changed from underneath ridiculously, but nobody's noticing it because they're watching Trump.
Puppet masters behind
so they're just
them,
watching Trump. And in the same, I believe that Russia is controlled by gangsters, not by Putin. And that's what's really dangerous. The Russian mafia definitely control Russia. The Russian mafia murdered the people in London, without a doubt, or tried to murder people in London. But Putin wants to leave, I think, but they wouldn't let him. He's a useful figurehead. But I believe there's really evil people in dangerous places in the world, which makes the world a more dangerous place than it was 30 years ago.
Okay. That's quite an interesting story, or... what do you say? I forgot the word.
Well, I believe that in the same way as 30 years ago, multinational companies had much more power in the world than governments, and they still do. But there's other elements. There's just other elements that were never there before.
So you think one must break the rules one must become a monster?
Well, at the moment, the monsters are doing quite well.
Okay.
But the only way to deal with monsters, as with bullies in school, is you need a unified approach against the monsters. If you have, for instance, which is when I talk about young people in politics, I don't understand why, for instance, in Britain, with something like a Brexit vote, for instance, it's totally against the interests of young people throughout Europe. And if they could manage to stand in some form of solidarity, they could make a massive difference to that. Also, all the money in the health services, in education, is being spent on old people. Old people have the money, older people have the money, younger people don't have the money and don't have the resources. That's going to be a very big deal over the next 10 years. There has to be a better distribution of wealth between the older and the younger generations.
And that's a worldwide problem, not only in Britain.
Oh yeah.
We experience that too in Germany.
Yes, I'm sure you do. If you try to buy a house or you try to buy a car, try to do anything that your parents' generation found easy. Yes.
Okay. What do you think about Nietzsche's philosophy in general?
Oh well, I can't remember that much. I remember specific quotes. I studied a lot of philosophy and psychology at one stage. I remember Nietzsche being basically quite sound. That's what I remember. I remember I could understand it.
And what about nihilism? What do you think about that?
Now that's taking me back. I can't remember enough to comment. I can't remember.
Well, it's not so much. It's just nothing.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Tonight you'll be performing in Saarbrücken.
Yep.
Saarbrücken. You've always been very popular in Germany. Would you say you have a very special connection to this country?
Yeah, for several reasons I do, yes. I mean, I think, apart from the fact we put a C in Fischer-Z, which makes them think I'm a German, it's well beyond that. No, I mean, for instance, all my family are soldiers, and they've got connections with Germany as well as with England. So, my grandfather spoke fluent German.
Okay.
My father spoke Urdu and all sorts of bits and pieces. And I was brought up by I spent a lot of time when I was small with one of my parents' friends' wife. And she came to Britain. She married a soldier after the war, and she was German. So right through the 50s, she was like my auntie. So I was brought up by Auntie Vera, and I had a teddy bear called Fritz. So yes, I got a special connection with Germany.
Well, let's talk about the future then.
Yeah.
What are your plans?
Well, at the moment, we're now, because we're releasing music in the form of the F card, which I don't know if you've seen those. Seen an F card? I'll show you an F card.
No.
There we go. So we're releasing, after the last record, we're releasing music when we want to. That's an F card.
Okay.
So
when you want...
So it's a card. So what it's got on the F card, it's got 3 new songs on it. It's got lots of films on it. It's a membership of a club, so people can when they come to shows, they can do things like get merchandise cheap. So what it is, it's a USB stick, but it's got loads of stuff on it, and it's a club card. So it means that you join together, and we can put what we want on that. So we can put music on it now. We can put music on it in 3 months' time. And people who buy that, and then they become like a member of a club and they get exclusive things. But at the end of the year, what we will do, by the beginning of next year, you collect all the different music together and there'll be an album in some form. But for me, eventually, you're not going to make money from selling music. You're only going to make money from people coming to see you, which I think is really cool, because that's the ritual. That's what it's about. Radio gives a way of letting people hear your music. We've got a massive Spotify situation now. My manager is my son, and he's 23. So since he's been managing us, our whole presentation has been very different. We've been working, our audience has changed, the average age of our audience has changed by 10 years in the last 3 years, much younger. Because obviously if you're presented through the internet, you get all the people that are fans from 15 to 80. So we're grateful, man. There's people that have followed me for years, but they're not all the audience anymore, and it means they accept your new music and your old. But the biggest difference in music, one thing you asked me before, is that people follow individual tracks. People are not necessarily following albums; they follow a track. They find a track that they find on YouTube or a track they find on Spotify.
They download it, and
that's what they do. I mean, all I want is as many people as possible to hear the music. I don't care if they don't buy it.
I want to spread the message.
I want them to come and see it, because that's what the real ritual is, coming to see people play, and that's what I like doing most.
So you really enjoy performing.
Yeah. I think that because then it's a different thing from making recorded music. But the idea that you can replace anything else. You can make music by machines.
Yeah.
40% of the jobs are going to disappear in the next 20 years. Everybody's jobs, but if you're a performer as such, then you can't replace humour and spontaneity. You can't do that. And I think that people value people go to festivals and things because they like that. But then again, some people go to big events. Corporate entertainment's terrible, where people pay €100 for a seat, They don't even watch it.
Yeah.
They just go there and have a glass of champagne and talk. And so that's all wrong. It's like sport.
Okay. Well then, I hope you'll have lots of fun performing there tonight.
So do I.
Thank you very much for coming here, and it was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you a lot.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Cheers.